Welcome friends to another r/am I the jerk here video. Today we've got a lot of awesome stories, and our first story of the day is from Throw R.A. Bubblegumby. Am I the jerk for telling my mother-in-law to get lost? Me, 27-year-old female, and my husband Seth, 30-year-old male, have been together for over 5 years. Last week, Seth had to travel out of state to attend his sister's wedding. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend due to work-related issues. Seth was gone for a whole week, and of course I missed him terribly. Seth and I don't get much quality time together due to our stressful work schedules. I was still happy that he got to spend some relaxing time with his family. Yesterday, Seth and I finally got the opportunity to spend a day off together. We decided to go for a cruise downtown in our new car, and then go out to eat at our favorite restaurant. Seth posted about our date night plans on social media, and the day started off very well until we got to the restaurant. As soon as we got to the parking lot, we see my mother-in-law, 51-year-old female, standing near the entrance. She bolted towards us and gave Seth and I a big hug. She said that she saw our plans on social media and decided to join us. I was already very upset, but I bit my tongue because I didn't want to make a scene in public. I just tried my best to hide the fact that I was not having a good time during dinner. After dinner was over, we all headed out to the parking lot and I said goodbye to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law said that she would join us back at our place to have some drinks. After she kept insisting that she join us at our house, I finally snapped at her. I said, "Look, I want to spend some alone time with my husband. We almost never get to be alone together. You just spent a week-long luxury vacation with him while I was stuck at home alone. You already ruined our date by barging in our dinner plans. Just get lost." My mother-in-law looked horrified. She started crying and power walked back to her car. Seth was stunned and started scolding me about how cruel I was to his mother. He said that I should have just expressed to him how I was feeling instead of making his mother feel unwanted. Am I the jerk? Would you guys agree with me when I say that I think both sides were jerks in this situation? Inviting yourself is kind of always a jerk move, but also OP just wasn't forthcoming about how they were feeling, let it bottle up, and then just exploded when OP could have been honest and just handled it in a civil way? Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments down below. Our next story is from Naptide. Am I the jerk for kicking a family graduation party out of the restaurant because the mom had written me an unhinged note the last time I served her? I'm a server at a bar and grill place. A few weeks ago, a lady came in for drinks with a dude and left me an unhinged note on a napkin calling me a slut for wearing shorts and a crop top while working in 90-degree heat. So my coworkers and I thought it was actually pretty funny, and we framed the napkin and the check with the word "who are" on the spot where the tip goes on the wall. Her signature was also legible. We also added her name to the do not serve list just in case she came back since we didn't want any trouble. It's not like that was weird for that place to have funny stuff hung up. We have all sorts of old Polaroids, drawings, etc. taken with patrons or drawn by them. It's the kind of place where we make a chalk sign quoting bad Yelp reviews as a joke. I didn't expect to see the lady back again, like she obviously had a poor time, so why would she come back? Well, last weekend a big party had a reservation, I believe a family's college graduation party, and I was going around the table checking IDs, and the name on one looked familiar. I took a better look at the lady, and I realized it was the same person who wrote the unhinged note. So I gave her ID back and said, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you. I'm going to ask you to leave." She said that she was of age and didn't understand what the problem was. Her family had made the reservation weeks in advance. I said, "Yes, I'm aware, but your name is on our do not serve list." She started getting mad, saying I didn't know what I was talking about. She'd never been spoken to before about this. And her husband and a guy who was either her father or father-in-law started backing her up. I went to grab the frame off the wall with the napkin and I read it aloud. And then I said the establishment has a policy that we cannot serve people who behave erratically or aggressively after drinking. And I was happy to serve the rest of the group, but I'd have to ask her to leave. A couple of my guy coworkers gathered around to back me up. She started screaming at me, saying it was her son's graduation and also trying to snatch the frame. I ended up getting kind of petty and saying, "Ma'am, that's the restaurant's copy of the receipt. You were given your own copy. I'm going to need to get that back and ask you to leave." Her husband said, "Let's just leave," and the whole group left together, which was honestly more than I intended. And her husband yelled at me about how he was gonna call my manager, which was funny because my manager was the one who bought the frame for her little unhinged note. The kid looked really ashamed and stressed through this though, and I felt pretty bad because he was just trying to celebrate his graduation, and it's not like it's his fault his mom's a little crazy. Am I the jerk for having kicked the lady out of the restaurant? I think this one's pretty clear cut, right? I think it's pretty clear that if somebody is on the do not serve list for a very valid reason, that saying you can't serve them and kicking them out of the restaurant regardless of the circumstance is more than appropriate, and you wouldn't be a jerk for doing that. Although I understand where OP's getting hung up on, it kinda sucks to essentially take part in spoiling this post-college graduation party, but it's the mom's fault more than anything. This next story is from Evan Polcati. Am I the jerk for not leaving when a girl my girlfriend hates showed up? I went to an event with some friends. This girl Carly, who my girlfriend Kinsey hates, showed up, and apparently I was supposed to leave after she was there. The plan was for me and a group of friends to do something. Carly wasn't supposed to be there, but she heard from a mutual friend that I was gonna be there, so she invited herself with them. She wanted the chance to get to talk to me without Kinsey around. She says that Kinsey's probably told me a bunch of lies about her, and that's why I avoid her, but that Kinsey's always been an over-exaggerating and dramatic person. She says that she doesn't see a reason that the two of us can't be pals with each other, except for me having a controlling and jealous girlfriend. Whatever, I was friendly to her and everyone else, and we all had a good time. My girlfriend was upset at this. Apparently, I was supposed to leave after Carly showed up. She was livid. She thinks that Carly only did that to get under her skin, and she knew that she could make her mad by hanging out with her boyfriend all day. She said that she only acts nice around me and that she's actually a backstabbing person, PG version. Now, I'm starting to think that my girlfriend may actually be a tad dramatic. I'm not allowed to hang out with friends and I need to leave because someone she dislikes is there? That just doesn't make sense to me. Am I the jerk for not leaving like my girlfriend said I should? I'm a little conflicted here because I would want to believe that OP's intention is just to hang out with their friends and have a good time. And despite Carly showing up clearly to try to, throw some drama into the mix, I think it's understandable OP wouldn't want to ditch the friends or cause drama by speaking up about it. But also, Carly was talking bad about OP's girlfriend, saying that she's dramatic, that she basically is showing up just because OP's there. And OP seems to suggest that they didn't really do too much defending their girlfriend. And then also, it could be seen as OP's defending Carly being around him all day by saying that there wasn't a problem there or letting it just happen. I don't know, it's a weird drama nebula, and I don't really know if OP is the jerk or not. All I know is this was somebody that OP's girlfriend clearly didn't like, who showed up unannounced, spent the whole day with her boyfriend, and OP kind of ended things saying, I don't know, maybe my girlfriend is dramatic. I'm thinking OP kind of got played, but I don't know if that makes them the jerk. By the way, if you're enjoying these stories, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below so you never miss any of my daily videos. Every video has awesome stories like our next one from DJ Throwaway I. Am I the jerk for refusing to take care of my kid? My friend, 26-year-old female, and I, 26-year-old male, go back since elementary, and we've been close friends since then. Our families are also close, so I don't have any attraction to her as a girlfriend. I see her like a sister. Most of my girlfriends have been okay with her, and I try to make it clear the divide we have as friends. My fiance is close friends with my friend, and has been friends with her since before our relationship. And so it hasn't been any issues until now. Recently we had a get-together where my friend said she couldn't drink since she was pregnant. We were all shocked since she was single and she admitted she fooled around with her ex, and that might have gotten her pregnant. Her ex is across the country and a jerk, so she really screwed up her life with this. I asked her if she was going to keep the baby, thinking she might not, but she exclaimed she would because I could help her raise it. My girlfriend stared at her, and I managed to ask why she thought that. She said we were best friends, so I would be the father and help raise the child. I asked her, where did you get that idea? And she got annoyed and said, you're always there for me and already like a husband, so I should be there for her son like a father. I was shocked because, yes, if she needed help with her car, I used to be a mechanic, I would help since she makes minimum wage and can't afford one, but I didn't think she would take it as me wanting to be her child's father or help raise it. I took a deep breath and told her I would always be her friend, but I'm not the father, so I'm not helping her raise her child and I'm not going to take a father role. She got mad and yelled at me for abandoning her and started crying. And a few of my friends were shaking their heads and called me later to tell me I should have been nicer. I felt like if I was nicer, she wouldn't have gotten it, and I wanted to make the situation crystal clear. My fiance is mad because obviously it's caused a huge mess. My saving grace is that my fiance and I were in another place visiting her family and traveling for the month when the baby was conceived. So no one thinks I'm the actual father. My friend's been trying to call me and I'm not sure if I should respond. Ooh, boy, okay, I don't blame OP one bit for saying what they said here. That's just a little over the line. That's a little bit of that crazy eyes, grabs you by the arm and moseys up to you saying, you could be the father. It's the kind of talk that makes you go, oh, yeah, I gotta use the restroom real quick. And then you jump out the bathroom window and you just keep on running. Our next story is from Zookeeper GameHuge 627. Am I the jerk for pulling all my money from the account after he refused to stop making comments about me getting a job? 30-year-old female, and I'm currently unemployed for the first time since I was 15. Even prior to when I would switch jobs, I already had employment lined up, so there was never a break between paychecks. My husband would have dry spells where he wouldn't work for some months at a time, get a job, and then hardly ever sticks with it for more than 6 months before he quits and takes a break. I didn't quit my last job. The company went belly up and didn't tell us until people were coming in and shutting us down. I've been 1 month without a steady income, but I've been searching endlessly. This all came to a standstill when my husband's engine blew up in his car. So now he takes mine to work and leaves me at the house. So now I need something from home, and it's darn near impossible. If you know of anything remote entry level that doesn't require degrees, please let me know. Currently, my husband works Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, and just got a pay raise and promotion 2 weeks ago. Since he got his promotions, he's been breathing down my neck about me getting a job. He sees all the applications I've sent out and still comments on it as if that'll help the situation. I currently have $8,600 sitting in the bank for my last job, which would pay our rent for 8 months. So his comments are really starting to piss me off, and I've told him several times to get off of my case. I've even suggested that I go and work with him because he's taking my car and making things impossible, and he apparently doesn't think it's a good idea. Anyways, he started in with the whole my money argument, but only when it's convenient for him. Like when he refers to taxes, it's our money. I get significantly more back than he does. But when it comes to other crap, he says, my money this, my money that. And it only just started when he got the promotion. He had no problem living off my money though the entire time he was unemployed because that was our money. Like I said though, I have money stashed, so I don't need crap from him. But he made a comment the other day saying, you need a freaking job. And it was the last straw for me. So I took my car and left to go withdraw every penny I had in the bank account and stick it into an account he can't touch. That left him with a little over $900 because the rest of the thousands were mine. He flips out and says I'm being financially controlling when in all actuality, it's him. Am I the jerk? I think OP's definitely not the jerk here, and if there's one thing I've always kind of hated, it's when people selectively use the my and our type talking like OP described here. As like a minor comparison, it makes me think of the like our house, my house parental thing, where if a parent wants you to help around the house and clean something up or do a lot of work, they say, come on, we want to make our house look better, right? But then if you want to do something or rearrange your room or you want to, I don't know, stay up late or something, a lot of parents will be quick to say, you're not doing that in my house, my rules. Well, OP's putting their foot down and saying, my money, my rules then if you're going to make it about money. Our next story is from Throwaway Dad 1112. Am I the jerk for celebrating my birthday? My mom died in childbirth to me when my older brothers were 6 and 8. My entire childhood was more or less mourning for her, which I was not allowed to be involved in. My birthday was not allowed to be celebrated or talked about under any circumstances, and I never got anything for them. When I got older and understood that most people had a mom and I didn't, it upset me a lot. Every time I cried about missing her, my dad would tell me that I'd never met her and that I didn't deserve to miss her. Now, this is where I'm probably the jerk. This year I turned 18, and I decided that I would have a birthday party for myself, which was just some drinks with friends and going to see a movie. I posted about this on social media and was instantly flooded with messages from my family telling me that I shouldn't celebrate my birthday and that all my family was at my mom's grave and that I should have been there. This is something I've been told repeatedly I'm not allowed to visit. So, am I the jerk? Frankly, I think the way OP's been treated is unbelievable. I don't think you could ever possibly be the jerk for wanting to celebrate your own birthday. And frankly, I think, if anything, they should try to celebrate the life of the mother. They should try to celebrate OP being here. When OP's birthday comes around, they should make it a celebration of the life, not try to outcast OP from everything and anything and telling them what they can and can't do on their day of birth. Imagine seriously looking at your kid and telling them they can't cry because they're sad they don't have a mom. Everybody in this family is out here gatekeeping, being sad about their mom. Try to make that make sense. Our next story is from Every 10. Am I the jerk because my friend ordered the same dish as me and couldn't pay for it? My 19-year-old female, 3 friends, 19-year-old female, 20-year-old female, and 20-year-old male, and I were going out to a restaurant. And another student, 19-year-old male, from our summer study abroad program that we've befriended in the past 3 weeks, asked to come. We said of course he could come. It was a slightly upscale restaurant with a Michelin star. We all ordered our own meals. Our newer friend couldn't really understand the menu since it wasn't in English, and his Spanish isn't that proficient yet, so he was Google translating. Then he gave up and just told the waiter he'll have what I'm having. He didn't know the price since the menu didn't have prices, but we all assumed if he was concerned about price, he'd ask the staff, but he did not. The table bill was about $1,100. It was $100 for the appetizers and about $200 for each person's main course. We'd all agreed before to each pay for ourselves and then split the bill for the appetizers. Our friend was shocked that his meal was $200 and said he didn't have enough money for that. He started talking to the waiter, questioning each charge, and became more distressed. Then he demanded to know why I didn't tell him the price. First, it wasn't in the menu, so I didn't know exactly, but the price was about what I expected it to be. He could have asked the waiter if he was worried about it, instead of just saying, "I'll have the same thing." I'm not sure what he expected since this is not a cheap place. He used his emergency credit card to pay and was quite upset. He said I should have told him the price. My meal was no more expensive than anyone else's at the table. I'm not sure why he didn't just ask the waiter. Am I the jerk? This really depends on what OP or their friends told this guy beforehand. If they mention that they're going to a Michelin star restaurant and what that means, meaning it's a very fancy upscale restaurant, then I don't think OP's the jerk for them coming along and ordering the same dish as OP. But if this friend went along blind, had no idea, and nobody felt the need to mention that you're going to a Michelin star restaurant, like if nobody felt the need to ever mention that this is a fancy upscale place and it's going to be expensive, then I think there's a little bit of validity of saying that OP or their friends might be a little bit of a jerk here. Our next story is from Whistler Blue 16. Am I the jerk for refusing to order specialty uniforms for a plus-size employee? I work as a manager for a customer service department at a large tourist attraction. We have a new employee we'll call Kate. Employees are required to wear a uniform consisting of a branded polo and whatever work-appropriate slacks people choose to wear. The largest size we currently have in the polo is a 2XL. Kate is a plus-sized lady, and she requested the largest size available. I gave her the 2XL and it seemed to fit fine. However, after the first week on the job, she came to my office and said she'd like to talk. She told me that she feels the uniform is too constricting and the fabric makes her uncomfortable. She said it was unaccommodating to bigger staff members to only offer a clingy, form-fitting polo. The polos are a dry-fit polyester material. I let her know that I could order a bigger size for her, but it would take 2 to 3 weeks for the custom ones to come in. She asked if I could order her a different style of shirt. And I said no because the uniforms need to be consistent. She seemed dissatisfied with this answer, but we ended the conversation. Today, I opened my email to receive an email from Kate that can be summarized as, "It is disrespectful and discriminatory practice to refuse to accommodate plus-size employees. By not allowing me to wear a uniform I feel comfortable in, you've made this an unwelcome and hostile work environment for me. If management is unable to order an appropriate uniform for me, I will promptly be leaving this position." Kate is otherwise a solid employee and has had no issues with attendance or customer service. Am I the jerk by not caving to her demands here? Frankly, I'm of the opinion that OP's not the jerk. I believe that as long as you can go a little bit higher in size, that you should be able to reach a size shirt that fits Kate comfortably. If they're unhappy with how constricting the shirt is, then going up to 3X might not be the best option. You might need to go even a little bit higher than that. Dry-fit polyester material is a very standard shirt, and if Kate can't understand that a bigger size would be less constricting, then I don't really know if you're ever going to truly be able to please Kate. Our next story is from humiliated. Would I be the jerk if I don't give my employee the day off for her sick daughter? Okay, I know the title sounds bad, but please hear me out. I, 42-year-old female, am one of the CEOs/managers of a multi-located company. I'm the CEO of one of the 6 locations they have, and because of that, I'm responsible for the schedules, and employees have to request stays and time off through me. One of my employees is a woman named Kate, 36, and not her real name. She's already asked all of her time off, not yet taken them, but already asked and given days off in the future. Think about vacation and then just random days she finds important. So, conclusion, she does not have any days left to ask off. Yet she still put in a request, and I denied it with the comments that she already used all her days. And with the question if she wanted to switch one of her days, she didn't want to, she really needed the day off. I denied it again, and a day later she stormed into my office, yelling at me that she really needed that day. I asked her to close the door and take a seat so we could discuss the issue. That's when she told me that her daughter, 7, has cancer. The day she requested off was a chemo day for her daughter, and Kate's husband couldn't take the day off due to a project he was working on. She cried, telling me her daughter missed so much school already she has to redo the year. I immediately felt sorry for Kate, wished her the best, and promised to make something work. When she left, I was almost in tears. Cancer always hits me personally, since I lost a few family members myself due to this disease. Now, mind you, my son, 7, goes to the same school as Kate's daughter. They share some classes. So that evening, I asked him if he knew Kate's daughter was sick, and if she missed a lot of school already, and if he knew what her favorite snacks are. I wanted to make some kind of healthcare basket as a gift to Kate from all her colleagues. My son told me Kate's daughter is not sick, has never missed a day at school, and she always brings a specific snack. And he would try to get the name for me. He even proceeded to tell me that they actually talk quite a lot at school and have mutual friends. I was shocked to discover Kate's lie and almost immediately wanted to deny her day off again. But my husband told me to try and cool down for a minute. I did, and now I'm torn between choosing to believe my employee or my own son. So, Reddit, tell me, would I be the jerk if I believe my son and deny my employee her day off again? I think if OP can be, without a shadow of a doubt, positive that the person their son is referencing at school is Kate's daughter for sure, and that they're 100% accurate about them always being there and seeming just fine and bringing their own snacks and whatnot, then I would have no remorse whatsoever denying Kate that day off, because using that as a lie is insane. The one thing I like is people in the comments are saying, go overboard with the kindness to call them out on it. Act like you didn't find out and start trying to get a community effort in, pull people at work to try to contribute and try to create an outpouring of support. Just really sink this person for using such a crazy lie. Our next story is from Random Regen 44. Am I the jerk for not inviting our stepbrother on a brother's trip? I, 28-year-old male, my brother, 26, and our half-brother, 20, used to go on an annual trip with our dad. Since my dad had a serious health complication 3 years ago, it turned into a brother's trip. We used to invite our stepbrother years ago, but he never wanted to go. Stepbrother, 28, is our youngest brother's half-brother. We do not get along at all. Our dad married his mom when I was 8. My mother's been dead for 6 years by then, but his parents have been divorced for 4 years. His dad was very wealthy and determined to drive a wedge between us. There was also a good dose of parental alienation, but since mom, stepmom, and dad couldn't afford to fight him in court, they did their best to keep the peace. He refused to be respectful towards my dad, rubbed his expensive toys in our faces, which now seems to be not a big deal, but then was very hurtful, etc. I guess the point where we completely wrote him off was when we were 16. He had a car and never allowed us in it. It was raining heavily and he refused to drive us to school. Then he drove by us while we were walking and kept insulting dad. For our youngest brother, stepbrother hated him the moment he was born. Used to bully him if we didn't keep an eye on him. There was an incident that ended with the youngest needing medical help, and he hated his older brother since then. A couple of years ago, stepbrother came out as gay. His father disowned him. Mom and dad did the decent thing and supported him, and we also said that we accepted him, but that was that. Last week we went on our trip as usual. Then last Sunday we were having a family dinner, and stepbrother was there. We showed our parents the photos we took and shared some stories. Stepbrother excused himself halfway through, but we thought nothing of it. Later, Mom told us that he broke down in the kitchen, saying that he felt excluded and wished that we'd invited him. I just hummed, but the youngest told Mom point blank that it was a trip for us brothers. He didn't qualify. She didn't insist or anything, but she seemed down. Now I'm feeling a bit guilty. Am I the jerk? The situation is a little sucky because you don't want to see anybody feeling bad or feeling left out like that. But in all fairness, OP and their brothers aren't jerks here because, like OP said, for years they tried to invite them and they never wanted to go. And frankly, for a long time, it seems like the stepbrother was pretty cold to all of them until literally they were all they had left and, seemed to have a change of heart. So I think that's also another reason for just not feeling super open to inviting them. Our next story is from Hope Incarnate. Am I the jerk for pointing out a fake service dog? I, 27-year-old female, pregnant, was at Walmart with my husband, 30-year-old male, when we decided to go through the fruit aisle. There was a small cluster of people talking with a lady who had a large poodle, dang they get big, with a red service dog vest on it. The vest had no handle, no patches, or a card on it, but I don't know what they require on their vests, so I can't say if it was missing anything or if it was fine. In all honesty, I only have a vague understanding about service dogs, enough to know not to bother them. The problem was that as we veered our cart around the small crowd, the service dog was all over the place, sniffing people's carts, putting its paws on the cart baskets, just a little out of control. Wasn't aggressive at all, not mean or anything, but the dog was definitely tugging on that leash as hard as he could because he was excited and confused. At first I thought, okay, he's probably in training and he's an early bird to the game. I've seen videos of some service dogs being trained publicly like that, which is understandable to me. But as we went past the crowd, the dog turned to me, and I didn't look at it or engage with it because I know that's wrong and distracting. Even though I turned to my husband, the dog barked and jumped on me. No harm, wasn't mean or biting. Everything was fine. Until the lady yelled at me and said, "You're too close to my service dog. You're distracting him." I replied with the way he's behaving, I'm inclined to think otherwise. I don't think that's a real service dog. She complained and got the staff to come over and talk to us, and we gave them the story, and the lady with the dog was asked to leave. Was I the jerk? I think OP's clearly not the jerk here. These people bring a dog in, service dog or otherwise, that's excited, pulling on a leash and jumping on people. I think you're gonna get asked to leave regardless of whether that's a true service dog or not. And any service dog acting out like that, being called out, I think is totally justified. And our final story of the day is from Acceptable Priority 71. Am I the jerk for skateboarding, even though my daughter's teased and humiliated over it? I've finally been doing the things I've been wanting to do in my life since I got divorced. One of them being a skateboarder. Sure, I'm 44, but it's never too late to try to be the bad to the bone version of yourself. My daughter, for some reason, is humiliated by me taking up skateboarding. Says I'm too old and that everyone at school makes fun of her for it. She said everyone laughs when I show up to school early and skate around the parking lot. The other day I came to get her and did a little trick on the curb, but wasn't able to land it and fell. When we get in the car, she starts hysterically crying that I embarrassed her, and why can't I just be like the other dads, and why can't I respect her request to just not skate around her school? She said I'm a jerk and a terrible dad. A part of me wants to keep her happy and not skate, and I get that I might be a jerk for continuing to do what embarrasses her, but another part of me thinks that she needs to be happy for me and let me be my best self, and that I'm not doing anything wrong for wanting to be happy. So Reddit, am I the jerk? I can only speak for myself, and I feel like if I was in the kids' situation with my parents skating around in the school parking lot, I would be a little mortified as well, especially if they're not good enough to land any of the things they're trying to do. It's basically like drawing an unjust amount of attention towards your kid. OP learning skateboarding and practicing it, there's nothing wrong with that, but maybe not in the school parking lot. Just accept that it's embarrassing for her for you to do it in the school parking lot in front of her and her friends or her peers. Just practice elsewhere and pick up your skateboarding in a different place that doesn't negatively affect your daughter. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you want to hear another Am I the Jerk Here story that was way crazier than any of the ones in this video, click on that left video. Or if you missed my latest video, check out the one on the right. That said, I'll see you all next time with some more stories.